Welcome to RGBtv. I am Jonathan Gutierrez, and today I have a review for you of The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is Nintendo's newest Legend of Zelda game for the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch. And let me just tell you right off the bat, this game is great. In Breath of the Wild, the land of Hyrule is recovering from a great calamity that took place 100 years prior. Unfortunately, that calamity, Ganon, is set to unleash another attack upon his return. The game starts you out as the main hero of Hyrule, Link, as he's waking up from inside a mysterious cave, not remembering anything about what happened, what he was doing, or why he's there. After you exit and do a bit of exploring, you meet a character that will send you on a series of small missions. These missions serve as a tutorial to teach you the basics of the game and how to use your trusty Sheikah Slate, a special tool that you find as soon as you start the game that will help you throughout the rest of your adventure. Beating these missions will allow you to exit the beginning area of the game and venture out into the rest of the huge, breathtaking world of Hyrule. Link must get his memories back, recover the Master Sword, and defeat Calamity Ganon once and for all. Now this game breaks away from the traditional Zelda gameplay, but it does so in many great ways, most of which work really well, and it is a welcome change to the Zelda formula. One of the first big changes you notice when you first step into the open world of Hyrule is that this game is truly huge. The world in Breath of the Wild is significantly bigger than every other Zelda game and most other open world games, and every single bit of it is explorable. Almost every surface is climbable, which means you could get to any place on the map with a little planning. Other changes in the Zelda formula include how the items interact with each other. Different items can be mixed and matched to create other items, enhance armor, create fires, and even prepare Link some delicious meals that will help him along his quest. And speaking of quests, this game has a huge amount of side quests that will definitely keep you busy for hours as you help out the people around Hyrule. Besides the side quests, there are also shrines scattered throughout the world that provide short challenges or puzzles. Once beaten, you gain spirit orbs, which when you collect 4, will allow you to get a heart container for an additional heart, or a stamina upgrade that will let you run faster, climb longer, or charge up your attacks further. Another element that completely changes up how traditional Zelda games are played is the weapons. This game has tons of weapons, bows, and shields that you find scattered throughout your journey. There are several types of weapons too, that each handle a little bit differently, so grabbing the right type of weapon for the job is essential. These weapons, however, break all the time. For me though, this didn't detract from the fun of the game. While frustrating at first, the fragile nature of the weapons force you to have to think carefully about which weapon you'll use, and it makes you value the weapons you find. It also teaches you how to approach situations differently and have to strategize to gain that victory over your enemy, which ends up being very satisfying. And of course, probably the biggest change from traditional Zelda games is the non-linear gameplay. This means that as soon as you're thrust into Hyrule, you can explore and go anywhere, focus on the main quests or side quests as much or as little as you want, in any order you choose. You could spend over 100 hours trying to complete everything, or you can take just a couple of hours, gather any weapons you can find, and go straight to the final boss and try your luck at beating the game quickly. This non-linear way of playing is definitely the biggest change this time around to the Zelda formula. Now this game truly does play great. The controls are so easy to just pick up and learn. Great for people who are very familiar with past Zelda games, or for people that are entering into the world of Zelda for the very first time. Now, along with a lot of these great changes, there's also the astounding visuals and the soundtrack. Breath of the Wild does an amazing job of presenting the land of Hyrule as a huge, beautiful, and visually stunning experience. Everything from the swaying grass to the ripples in the water makes you feel like you're exploring the great outdoors. Adding to this sense of wonder and exploration is the soundtrack. Zelda games usually feature an epic soundtrack filled with iconic and catchy music for Hyrule Fields and the different towns and villages and temples as well. This game's soundtrack, however, is very subtle and minimal. The music when visiting towns and villages is mellow and gives you a sense of relaxation and rest. Some even contain melodies of older Zelda tracks that hits you with nostalgia. While exploring, the game may sometimes have little to no music at all, leaving you with nothing but ambient sounds that make you feel like you're really out there, exploring new places and discovering new things. Now, while this game has almost everything going for it, there are a couple of things that I found to be very disappointing with this game. I'm going to go into mild spoilers, nothing relating to the story, just relating to certain elements of the game. So if you're one of those that you want to dive into a game without knowing absolutely anything about it, then you might want to skip ahead. Go ahead and skip to the end of this video for my final rating. But for now, you've been warned, mild spoilers ahead. Temples and dungeons. This game has no traditional Zelda temples or dungeons. One of the things that I love about Zelda games are the long, complex dungeons with puzzles that require thinking outside the box. It was a fun and challenging experience that can take you several hours to beat. Breath of the Wild instead opted for challenge shrines. And while the challenge shrines are fun, they tend to be super short and very easy. Because most puzzles rely on the same mechanics, it tends to get repetitive rather quickly. This game also has divine beasts, giant animal machines that you need to free in order to progress the main quest given to you at the beginning of the game. There are 4 divine beasts total, and entering these divine beasts is a fun, unique experience. Once you're inside, however, it feels like a very simple, quick run-through of a slightly larger challenge shrine. Since this game is non-linear, any of the 4 divine beasts can be your first. And because of this, the game has to assume that whichever divine beast you're at is the first one you're visiting, and therefore holds your hand and tells you exactly what to do to beat it. Welcome to the divine beast. First, you'll need a map. The map is over here. You found the map. Now you need to activate 5 terminals. The terminals are over there. You found the terminals. Now head to the main terminal and fight this very generic, forgettable boss. The challenge shrines and divine beasts are short, simple puzzles that lack any depth and are definitely not a replacement for a temple or dungeon, and in my opinion, omitting these temples was a huge mistake. One other thing that bothered me is regarding the Master Sword. The game mentions the Master Sword over and over as the hero's weapon and the blade that seals the darkness and how important it is to the hero. However, you can go the entire game without ever finding it. This legendary sword, which you need in every other Zelda game as the only sword that can stop Ganon, you suddenly don't need it anymore. You could beat Ganon with a bow and arrow or even an old rusty spear if you want. What? The lack of these, some of the most defining Zelda staples, made this game feel a little less like a Zelda game than it should have been. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild might have gotten close to a perfect score if not for a few of the disappointing issues that I had with it. But for the very little things that I think this game got wrong, there is so much great stuff that the game definitely got right. This game will make you feel like a legendary explorer, always discovering new things. Everything from the music, the stunning visuals, the mystery of discovery, the characters, and the gameplay, it all lends to a great experience and a welcome addition to the Zelda family. This game is a must-play and definitely a must-have for your collection. So my rating for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is 8 Sheikah Slates out of 10. So guys, thank you so much for watching my Breath of the Wild review. I really appreciate your views and your likes. Make sure to follow us on social media, so that's going to be Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, if you want to support the show, make sure to check out our Patreon account. Even $1 a month would help us out greatly. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.